Meteorologist Cassie Hyder back now. And Cassie, all of that hard work is happening while they know that the potential for flash flooding is all around them.
Yeah, they still had some rain, in the past even just a few days now, and they still have more rain in the forecast. They still have a flood watch through tomorrow morning. They could still see rain and storms tonight. Any kind of silver lining here is the fact that eventually it looks like the forecast is going to be drying out, and the flooding, it would be minor if there was going to be any. But no matter how much rain, even when you add just a little bit to what they already have, it causes just more issues and it makes things more difficult. But right now, looking at satellite and radar around the hill country, things are pretty quiet. What you're trying to see here, it almost looks like it wants to rain there, but what you're just kind of seeing is the moisture increasing. What you're seeing around the hill country, likely not actually hitting the ground just yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if a little bit closer to I-35 near Temple, we do have a couple of isolated showers. Here at home, though, it was pretty quiet for the most part. We did have some rain and storms across North Texas, but not at DFW. We did not end up with any rain there. Fortunately, though, because we did have the clouds around, temperatures only made it into the upper 80s, the normal being 95, the record 107 degrees. That hasn't happened yet. We have not hit 100 degrees yet, but I promise you it's coming. Satellite and radar showing the showers and storms that we did have earlier this afternoon and evening quickly moved off to the east, and now things are pretty quiet. Looking at satellite and radar, though, you can see just to the south and southwest of Hillsborough, we do have a couple of isolated showers. There's no lightning with that. I'm really not expecting anything to really increase a whole lot for the rest of this evening. So in the meantime, this is our Fort Worth camera. Things are nice and quiet. Temperatures in the upper 70s. There's still a heat index, though. It's a little humid outside. Feels more like the low 80s. We're at 78 degrees in McKinney, 80 right now in Denton, 73 though. In Waxahachie, 75 degrees over in Canton overnight tonight. Temperatures just dropping down into the low to mid 70s. So it's going to be a warm start to your Monday. It's also going to be muggy, but tomorrow afternoon we're expecting to keep the clouds around. We also have rain chances, but the rain coverage should stay pretty low. With that being said, temperatures should hang out in the 80s and 90s for the most part. So looking at our timecast, starting it at 10 o'clock tonight, doing a good job of initializing what's actually going on right now, keeping the showers way off to the east. Overnight and into tomorrow morning, it tries to bring in maybe a few showers a little bit closer to the Red River. This is going to be 7 o'clock tomorrow mornings. It shows some showers to the south, eventually trying to make their way north and east around noon. So around noon, we could see some showers and storms in between Terrell, Waxahachie, and Hillsborough. Some of this could make it into the Metroplex, but the overall chance of that is going to stay pretty low. This is 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. You could see rain and storms just out to the west, but still the coverage looks to remain very low. As we get into Tuesday morning, a couple of isolated showers around the Metroplex, not expecting anything severe. And later in the afternoon, maybe a few isolated showers, but that's it. Overall coverage over the next couple of days is going to stay very low. What I want to show you is the pattern change that is coming. We actually have a ridge of high pressure out to the east. That's going to be retrograding back to the west about midweek. That's going to last all the way through next weekend. What that means for us is the main jet stream is going to stay well to the north. That's where the higher chances of rain and storms will be. The ridge of high pressure is basically going to cut those rain chances off, but that also means it's not only going to be drier, but we're expecting a lot more heat, and it's going to get a little more humid. So for tonight, partly cloudy, showers possible, but a 20% coverage. Temperatures drop down into the mid 70s. Tomorrow afternoon, mostly cloudy. Isolated showers and storms are possible, but because of that, I'm keeping temperatures back in the upper 80s for tomorrow. So relatively cool. We are going to be warming up quite a bit, though. We're talking 93 degrees on Tuesday with a 10% coverage of rain and storms. On Wednesday, no rain, but that means it's hotter, 94. We gradually warm up as we get into next weekend. Plenty of sunshine, a little bit of wind as well. Now look at the second half of that 14-day. Some great news. There's no rain in the forecast. Some bad news that we have a lot of upper 90s. We also have 2 days now and there where I'm forecasting a high of 100 degrees. Some of the models were saying 104, 106, but guess what? It's also said that before, and we have not hit 100. So things can change. We're still several days out. We'll fine tune it as we get a little bit closer. But one thing is for sure, we are getting into the thick things as we get into summer, and eventually it's going to get pretty hot.